Okay, so that's actually all okay, which is really good. So let's see what we need to do in relation to visuals. So for a start, I'm going to deliberately irritate the eyes. So I want you to see me doing this to you. So I'm going to keep your head together, and I want you to keep an eye on my hands and move around as I'm doing it. Okay, so no surprise, instantly there's some stress there. The noise in combination with the movement simply activates the adrenals and the amygdala. So the amygdala is sort of going, oh, hang on, what's going on around me? And it puts the body in this space of, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so, right, so that has automatically activated a hidden deep survival pattern. Is this a priority? Yes, it is. Do we need to do it instantly? No, we don't. Okay, so I'll pop that one in my back pocket to do later on or to check. So there's something else. Do we need to have some affirmations or goals around visualization? Yes, we do. Which book do we need? Do we need to do it with the tuning fork? No. Do we need to do it with the 5500? Yes. Okay. Okay. Okay, so obviously the whole thing about COVID, you know, how do you see your way out of this? You know, it's we are in so little control because of what our governments are doing, and very few people have that ability or the ego to be able to stand up and go, I don't agree with this. I'm not going to continue to do these crazy, ridiculous, draconian measures. So with the visuals, there's like obviously the physical eyes, the physical visual pathways, which I'll check anyway, but they're not showing up so much. So let me just do a couple of little bits and pieces. No. Oh, okay. So there's four major visual pathways. The one that's showing up is from the eyes. Everything sort of crosses over and goes to the back of the brain, and then crosses over and comes to the front of the brain. Our visual centers are actually in the back of the head. So so with that process, so you're not seeing me, you're pulling me apart into 6,000 pieces, your brain's putting them all together, and then you're seeing me. It's really quite an amazing process. So when that process is happening, that's okay on its own. What's not okay is if there's also stuff going on in the peripheral vision simultaneously. And what that equates to in our world is reading. So because it's about reading the word, but also getting the sense of the words around it. So that's why it's such a challenge these days for people. So there's a lot of visual stress going on. You know, we are in this fast-paced world. Hopefully you're not watching mainstream media. It's not healthy for us. It certainly doesn't tell us the truth. I'm sure you're aware of all of that. But anyway, so there's something going on. Once again, do we work on it instantly? We leave that. Okay, so once again, we leave that in our back pocket to check later on. So the ones that sort of showed up, so I'm not sure whether you're doing any meditation at the moment, but the first thing that showed up is I am able to visualize while doing meditations. And basically being able to see anything well and consciously is a sign of good visualization. So I am able to visualize while doing meditations. Okay, adrenal, survival, deep survival, hidden deep survival. Yep. What about celestial circuit? Nope. conscious pathways. Not really. Sabotages, yes. Want, need, think, safe, believe, deserve, trust. So it's a safety thing. It is safe to let go of this problem. Second, okay, so that's second stage stress. So your nervous system's trying its hardest to believe that everything's going to be okay. It is safer to keep this problem. Yeah, your brain goes, yep, just keep it, just keep it. You know, if I can't look at my future and I can't see it, I'm not going to upset if I don't get it. So, you know, meditating is basically about seeing what you want. It's creating the world you need. It's about looking at your life and going, this is the way I want perfection to be. And that's whatever it is for you. And there's another, the next one was about your parent gene. So it was, I use my parent gene to enhance my meditations and visualizations, which is interesting because obviously when we are struggling with members of our family, that part of us who is the parent is getting fractured, you know, when there's issues with our kids, grandkids, and even with our parents, because we take that parenting gene down into our DNA. So we sort of have it from both sides, you know, whatever issues our parents were having with the parent gene can be struggling, as well as it going through us and through to our kids and grandkids. But when we're really feeling that, so that's messing with you being able to visualize and see your bright future as well. Okay, I use my parent gene to enhance my meditations and visualizations. And it's a hidden deep survival again. Oh, okay, that one's about deserving. So deserving is one of those ones. It, as a very general rule, it doesn't just happen as a parent. It happens when we are kids. It happens as a child. It happens, you know, it's sort of that whole, you don't deserve to go to your friend's place. You don't deserve to have a piece of this cake. You don't deserve to get your cookie after dinner. It's that energy that's behind us as kids, because we're little narcissists. The only thing we know until we're 2, 3, 4, 5 years old is the here and now and what we want. And if we don't get it, then we believe the whole world's against us. So I say that lovingly, of course, because we're all exactly the same, you know, and basically until the logical and creative hemispheres really start integrating well, then we just do the best we can, flailing around in a world that doesn't make sense to us if we don't get everything we want. Okay, and then just an easy little one. Visualizing my future is easy for me. Visualizing my future is easy for me. Oh, okay, right. So that one, blue survival, deep survival, and hidden deep survival. So it actually has all 3 layers of that. So in relation to visualizing your future, your nervous system's gone, no, 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 no. Don't you dare do that, because if you visualize it, you're going to get hurt. Life's going to be stressful, so don't even go there. Anything else? And I'll just stack in perfect eyesight is my divine right. Perfect eyesight is my divine right. Perfect eyesight is my divine right. And again, yeah, okay, there's stress there. Yeah, that is also survival, deep survival, hidden deep survival. And that one's blown the celestial circuit as well. Okay. Right. So there's something about the visual centers for you, or seeing things, that makes you think you have to do something. So when you're seeing something that is challenging to your nervous system, it is a problem because, so basically the stress around your visual centers, it's exhausting your right side of your body. So that's the masculine side, that's the doing, that's the doing side of the brain. So maybe maybe you, because you're an empath, you know, if you're taking on other people's stuff, potentially you have always just had that feeling like you need to do something about it. If you see pain, if you see worry, if you see concern, if you see anger, then it might be you might have a problem-solving brain where it just doesn't leave you to help you to deal, you know, you can't deal with something unless it's sorted. So sometimes it's not a bad idea, those things, especially those things in our life that we have zero control over, pop them in the freezer, you know, so sort of write what you have no control over down on a piece of paper, fold it up, stick it in the back of the freezer. Or you can just sort of do the whole let go and let God, you know, just let your angels, let your higher self, let your spirit guides take over. You know, just offer it up to your belief system, and so that it can leave your brain. Say, okay guys, I know you can take care of this for me, so, you know, I know I'm not getting anywhere with this. I'm fully willing for you to take over and take care of this for me. There's only so many times you can bang your head against a brick wall. Okay, so that's brought the celestial circuit down from third stage stress, chronic fatigue around your visualization, meditation, seeing a bright future, down to second stage, which is overworking. And once again, that masculine side, it's exhausted. It needs to bring you back into that center. It needs to bring you back into having equal amounts of caring and doing, looking after yourself, paying attention to yourself. Okay, so once again, nope, so we don't need to do the best technique. Okay, we need an essence. Okay, so it's a bark flower essence, not a bush flower essence. So chestnut bud is one of the ones in the rescue remedy, 4 drops. So it just lets us know that layer of survival is in there. It's just creating some low-level nervous system exhaustion that will be depleting a whole bunch of nutrients you need for your eyesight. And also just thinking about the fact that the clear quartz showed up for on your pineal gland, on your brow chakra. That can be that your pineal gland is starting to get coated, so you're getting cloudy, which can be a sign of acidity. And when you're too acidic, even just thinking about your kidney pain and your, like, all the things going on, if you are not able to get your body more alkaline, which is about water, it's about your magnesium, calcium, potassium, it's about it's about your green leafies, it's about your sulforaphane, it's about your broccoli and your rockets, your bitters, getting those bitters into your diet. We've got more bitter receptors in the body by, I think it's something like 17 to 2 bitter receptors to sweet receptors. And so many of us never have bitters in our diet. I'm sure you're aware of that, but it's just something to keep in mind every time you're having different bitters. You know, drinking things like dandelion leaf coffee or dandelion root coffee, they are bitters, so they help, you know, your bitter systems in your body. And if you get bitter in your gut and your liver, then you tend to get more alkalized in your bloodstream. For the kidneys, nettle tea and parsley tea and things like that. Because you're such a little sensitive sausage, maybe the teas are the way to go to sort of help things out. You know, buffered vitamin C that's buffered with minerals. So straight ascorbic acid is really acidic, and especially because you get kidney pain so often, you would never want to do straight ascorbic acid, so it needs to be a fully buffered vitamin C. And what you'll see when you look at the ingredients of a buffered vitamin C is there's minerals in there that help to counterbalance the acidity of the ascorbic acid. It's why people, you know, who are eating, you know, chewable vitamin C, the enamel on their teeth starts to get weak, because it's the ascorbic acid, which is often on its own, plus the sugar. So the pair of them just, you know, yeah, the old teeth don't like sugar and acid. Okay, so there's something in this that's activating your, and we're still in the celestial circuit, but this part of the brain, the subclavicular gyrus, it's the one that is to do with up to 7 generations of how we cope with stress, how we cope with trauma, especially on the rage, anger, depression, you know, that line of where you can be angry and frustrated and resentful, and then you speak your mind and then you feel guilty, so you go into a depression, you hide in the corner, and then eventually, you know, you bubble up from inside and you go, no, I need to speak my truth. So when we're on that yo-yo, a lot of our time, this little part of the brain is often involved, but it can be genetic. Yeah, right. Your brain, no surprise, would rather, and this is visualization, so when your visuals start to go, you know, you think, right, what is it? I had a guy years ago who, oh, your brain wants to run away rather than deal with the anger. So I had a guy years ago, and he was like early 30s, if I remember, like 33, something like that. And he believed he would go away for the weekend, and he'd find by the end of the weekend, he actually didn't need his glasses. And we sort of chatted about it, and we said, right, so that's sort of an indication of what sort of level of stress you're going through throughout the week. Because, you know, you take the stress out of the weekend and you're off and you're having fun at your beach or your rainforest or something like that, and all of a sudden your eyesight starts to improve. Obviously it could be good old nature, and you're allowed further than 5 k's away from home now. So hopefully you're enjoying a bit more outdoorsy fun, getting away from home. Now, so there's another layer to the subclavicular gyrus here, and this one's an old pain and punishment circuit. Large intestine energy, regret, messing with your self-worth. Your energy's trying to let it go, but it's exhausting. But there's some real sadness in there due to how powerless you feel with what's going on. And you can imagine, I think lots of people around the world are feeling that because of COVID, you know, the things they've lost, the people they've lost, the don't know if you saw on the news this morning that poor woman in the UK, a 97-year-old woman in an aged care home, and her 70-year-old daughter was arrested for trying to take her out of the aged care home. And she's a retired nurse. And, you know, this sort of rubbish, like, how is that okay for humanity? How is that okay for our aged care? Like, it's phenomenal, the rubbish that's going on in the world at the moment with people. There's just no humanity at the heart of all of that. Yeah, so when I'm looking forward to the future, every time anyone mentions this new normal, I want to strangle them. I sort of like, no, 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 don't allow them to do this to us. People are so afraid this year of their immune systems and their bodies. I had a kinesiology session yesterday myself, and part of it was she was talking to me and about people who are master manifestors. So people who are high energy are also those people who are big manifestors on the planet. And she was saying that especially the high energy people have to really watch what is focused on, because if high energy people focus on the negative, we're attracting more of the negative. And because we're high energy, we can then affect a lot of people around us. Whereas those same high energy people, if we focus on the meditation and visualization and positivity and getting out there into the world and seeing what we want to see, and trying to finding something in your world that's a stress, and then each morning, so for example, if someone in the family is causing an issue, then visualize that person, visualize that house, visualize them each morning with, pink loving healing light, and just sort of put that into the universe that, hey, sometimes you just need to smother people with love, or energetically encompass people in love, because they're not feeling it. They're in such a place of fight and flight or rage or fear that they simply can't get out of that. They can't see their way forward, and quite often then their ego gets involved, and it's hard for people to say, oops, my bad, I'm sorry, let's move on. We have a 17-year-old rift in our family that hit the fan again a month or two ago. And I have no doubt the energy of this year brought that on again, because people are just so heightened. Okay, so this is the reticular activating system, so controlling what hormones you're releasing when something new is happening. Now at the moment, something about the visualization is creating a pain punishment circuit, and that pain punishment circuit is it's sort of like come to the surface again at the moment, so it's not staying in the background, but it's a new pattern. Actually, it might be in the hippocampus as well. I'll go hunting. Yeah, so that pain punishment circuit is activating acetylcholine, so it's sort of almost like heightening your anxiety, it's heightening your stress hormones. And maybe that's why your visual centers have taken a bit of a break at the moment, because they go, I just don't want to see. I can't do this again. I'm exhausted. They're being kind to you potentially. Okay, there's another reticular activating system circuit. This time it's on, so it's not to do with the actual hormones. This time it's to do with the organs or muscles of the body. So I'll just have a quick squiz there. So firstly, stacking in the RAS. Okay, yep. So I'll just double check the hormones. No, they're okay. So now I'm going to check the organs. Okay, so lung energy. Okay, so we've made our way to the coughing. So let's, so firstly, just energetic. Actually, I'll do it on me. So not a lot of energy in those muscles, so it's like the intercostals. Right. And let me check the diaphragm. Oh yeah, nothing there. Okay. Okay. So anytime your coughing gets really bad, you know that you can rub down through the sternum, so that helps to add lymph, send lymph to the lung energy so that the lungs can take toxins away. And same down with either side. So give these little guys a rub anytime your cough gets bad. And same with the bottom of the rib cage, giving them a bit of a rub as well. Let me see. Okay, that's improved. Diaphragm. Still need something for the diaphragm. No, that one's emotional. This time it's a Australian bush flower essence. Southern Cross is the flower essence. Southern Cross is the, it's the poor me energy. It's the, why the heck does this happen to me? 4 drops. And if you think about the diaphragm and you think about the lung energy, basically, when we are coughing a lot, sometimes our breathing is compressed to that upper third in our lungs. So we're not actually doing that full belly breathing. So I'm not sure if you're doing any yoga or Pilates or even breathing techniques. So just sort of keep an eye on breathing techniques so that you can get that full belly breathing going in. And sometimes that's really hard. So I'm not sure if you're doing that or not, but just be aware. So when you're breathing in, you want to focus on there. It's sort of like you want to focus on there being a string. So allow that to come out. You don't want it all to come here. So some people, when they breathe, this stays in and this comes out. So your rib cage comes out. That's not belly breathing. You need to get belly breathing to happen to break down some of that congestion at the bottom of your rib cage and the lungs. So there can be this stuff, your mucociliary pump might be not working properly. So once again, I know you're sensitive supplement-wise, so it's the sort of things like vitamin A. Vitamin A is really important for the lung tissue, vitamin A and D. So, yeah, right, I wonder if your body would cope with something like that. So basically, you know, there's a product from Metagenics called ADEK. So it's got vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K. So 4 fat-soluble vitamins in it. And basically what it does is has a small amount of each, and all of your lung receptors love the essential fatty acids. But it's those essential fatty acids in our diet that are really amazing as well. And if you can stand it, which you probably can't because most people can't, but if you can get some organic offal into your diet, that's actually quite amazing, you know, for the essential fatty acids that can be found in those, and the coenzyme Q10 that's in. Once again, I know 99.99999% of people won't go for this, but organic heart from the heart is full of coenzyme Q10, so it's one of those amazing health foods that is so good for us. Okay, so go back to the diaphragm. Okay, more of something else, more of the same, more of something else, no. Okay, so that was the first organ showing up. So I'm going back to the reticular activating system now. Okay, there's still something on the organ slash muscle side, so checking through. So central governing lung, beautiful. Sex, heart, stomach, so stomach energy. So the muscle is to do with the pec clavicular in here. Oh, right. With the lungs, there's pec minors. I don't know if you can do, well, let me just show you a quick little balance to do there, because the pec, if your pec claviculars aren't working, then sometimes the pec minors in underneath them will be really out of balance as well. So by sort of pushing your shoulder down, and then you want to resist coming up, so sort of like just give some resistance. Breathe in, breathe out, and lift up. So you're resisting by pushing down, but at the same time you're lifting up, and what that does is to help to reset the pec minor in here. Breathe in, breathe out, and lift. Breathe in, breathe out, and lift. And this side, breathe in, breathe out, and lift. Breathe in, breathe out, and lift. Now that's the pec minor, and when the pec minor is jammed in here, then it stops a whole bunch of lymph from detoxing from the lungs. So that can be a really nice way of, well, of sort of supporting. I've often wondered how else to do that, you know, sort of up against a wall or something like that, but I haven't really found a good way of doing it. One thing you can do is sort of using, you know, a strap and holding behind, and then sort of pulling, you know, just focusing in on your shoulders. Breathe in, breathe out, and pull the shoulders forward. And breathe in, breathe out, and pull the shoulders forward. Breathe in, breathe out, and bring the shoulders forward. Beautiful. My little man fell down. Okay, so anyway, so back to the pec. So that just reminded me, because the pec minor is really important for lung energy. So when we are congested in here, so if you sort of do little massages in here and that's all really tender, that's a sign this lymph is really congested. So, you know, even doing, you know, the little, you know, the baby trampoline that you can buy, the ones that are like a meter round, you know, doing those lymphosizing, you know, and, or I've got one of those wobble machines, you know, so they're machines that you lie down and you put your feet in two little grooves and you're lying on your back, and it sort of rocks you from side to side. So you can get them online as well. So something like that to get your lymph moving if you're not getting, and maybe you're doing plenty for your lymph. So they're just a couple of ideas. And of course, another really good old-fashioned naturopathic idea is getting the dry skin brushing going on. So you buy a natural bristled brush from your health food shop, and you just sort of do it towards your heart. Everything about it is towards your heart, and you do it dry on the skin. So because the lymph is just in underneath there, and once you have a shower, your pores close. So while you're, you know, so you want to do it on dry skin before a shower. Great thing as well for getting that lymph to flow. So anyway, back to your stomach energy. So because pec major claviculars are about your stomach energy. So once again, tapping into your energy. It's right side. Right side, okay. So, neurolymphatic points. Meridian for the stomach energy. Emotional stress release points. Stress is one of the fastest things to shut down stomach energy. Okay, so once again, nope, still something else, going back into RAS. Still not emotional, going back into the organs again. Okay, so brain, spine, lung, sex, heart, stomach, large intestine, bladder, small intestine, triple heater. Okay, so triple heater's showing up, so that's the combination of thyroid, adrenals, and immune system. Okay, so thyroid is showing up. With fatigue, you know, it's one of those things that can be an ongoing challenge. So here is our thyroid test. Okay. Yeah, not fabulous. Okay, so 3 fingers over the sternal notch and hand at the back of the head. And rub down through the sternum. But stress-wise, once again, it's the brain wanting to run away, escape, submission, freeze. I should put those crystals back. Rose quartz, heart energy. Clear quartz, brow chakra energy. Okay, next organ showing up is liver energy, both sides. So the liver energy is the pecsternal, so there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in here. Don't know whether your coughing comes more from your left or right lung, whether you've ever had x-rays, not that I recommend x-rays, but basically, yeah, so it is showing up on both sides. So once again, liver energy. So firstly, rubbing underneath the right breast tissue sends lymph to the liver. The meridian runs from the big toe up the body to just underneath the breast tissue. And the liver energy is about internalized, so not letting it out, internalized resentment, frustration, anger. And once again, this year is all about stuff that we have no control over. Just feels like a big fat gap year, doesn't it? And while everyone's in that real base chakra, inability to see anything other than fear and threat around them, and that's what mainstream media is pushing left, right and centre, there's just no end to the chaos this year for people who watch that sort of stuff. So once again, you know, it's just about every time you feel that, covering it with love, sending it back out into the universe. Don't take it on. It's not yours. Own your own sovereignty. Still something else, okay? Still something else in the reticular activating system with the organs. Oh, still something we need to do on the right. So we've got a left and right meridian. We only have one liver, obviously, which is on the right, but the right side, the meridian, still needs a bit of work. Okay, we need some tonification points. So firstly, we need to hold liver 8 and kidney 10. So on the inside of the knee, so just hold those for a couple of seconds. So one's a kidney point, one's a liver point. Then the next points are inside of the ankle and inside of the wrist. So I'll do these simultaneously. This is where humans are really handy. Now they're pulsing quite quickly actually, so it's only a fraction of energy it needed. And then the other side, so liver 8, kidney 10. And then the next 2 points are the lung 8 and liver 4. So once again, so we need to get into a bit of a twist to do it. Okay, now pulsing quite nicely. Okay. So once again, is there anything else with the RAS? There is. Still not the hormones, checking the organs. Ah, good old kidney energy. Okay, so kidney energy, that fear that's driving the internalized resentment, rage, frustration. I release any and all anger at anyone I love. I release any and all anger at the world for stopping my year. I release any and all anger at myself for allowing things to happen. I am love. I am loved. I am perfect as I am. I release any and all anger at those people I love. I release any and all frustration and rage at myself for allowing things to happen. I release any and all fear that's driving my resentment and my internalized rage. I am that I am that I am. I choose to be. I am perfection. I am a sovereign being. Yay, reticular activating system, finally. Okay, so quite a few organs are linked in with the heightened emotions, because this year has been such a year of new stuff going on and not being able to keep up with things and hearing everything, and even if you're trying to avoid it, it's hard to avoid. So it's just one of these crazy years where we either go into our cocoons and ignore the world, in which case we're putting the world off, or we're listening to everything and we're putting the world off because we believe everything. So it's such a crazy year. So anything else in periventricular survival system? No. So that one, okay, good. So visuals. Okay, so we were doing the visuals, the stress associated with the visuals, with that the crossover pathways of the brain as well as the peripheral simultaneously. So I'm going to stack that one in again. Third, second, first. Okay, so still in first stage stress. So once again, what do I need? Adrenal, survival, deep survival, hidden deep survival, celestial circuit, conscious pathways. Okay, so we need some conscious pathways of the brain. Okay, so CC Trust, Stacey just wants me to play a... Oh, okay. So the first hippocampal circuit is showing up. Hippocampus is a memory center. To 10 to 20 to 30 to 40, 30 to 35, 35 to 40. Okay, so when your visuals aren't fantastic, you've got about 35-40% of your hippocampus kicking in. Now, this is the part of the brain that it's a memory center, but two of the core areas that shut it down fear of failure and fear of success. And this, once again, is wanting to run away. So we can't see clearly if our brain doesn't want to be there. Sorry, I needed to turn the aircon on. Getting hot in here. Okay, there's still something else with the hippocampus. So firstly, to 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 to 70 to 80. So 70 to 75, 75 to 80. So 70 to 75. No, it's not amygdala. Ears, oscillation, chakra, essence, cranial keys, tuning forks. Okay, so we need some tuning forks in relation to the hippocampus. So the hippocampus being a memory center, if your brain is fearful of what it's going to see, potentially that could be because of something in the past that's happened, or that you foresaw that was going to happen that your brain doesn't want to see again because it's escape again. So it's the brain wanting to escape. So let's see what tuning fork combo we need. So central governing lung. So okay, so the first coordinate is circx, so the pericardium meridian. Second, central brain, lung, circx, heart, stomach, large intestine. Okay, so circx energy is the grandmother energy of large intestine energy. So circx is fire element energy. Yeah, so struggling to relax. And of course, when that anxiety gets up, it's hard to relax. Remorse for something that's happened in the past. And not enough playfulness in your life. Yeah, so the combination of these is feeling exasperated at something in your life that you either can't do something about, or something's gone wrong and it's not your fault but you're being blamed, but it's exasperation, and then that just creating despondency. So once again, it's like that fight, flight, freeze, but it's the emotions are going, I cannot believe this is still happening. Philotheca. So philotheca energy is about accepting compliments and acknowledgements, and being able to go, you know what, I'm doing the best I can, I'm a decent human being, and what will be will be. So okay, so I need to read what you need once, but I need to read the positive 3 times. Interesting. Doesn't want either of those. Central. Figure 8. So it just wants figure 8s over the entire body. So we just need to clear some energetic guff that's just stuck. I take responsibility for my attitudes and now choose to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively dissolve my inability to accept acknowledgement and my excessive generosity into all-encompassing love. I make the commitment to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively acknowledge my own strengths and receive love and acknowledgement from others graciously. I make the commitment to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively acknowledge my own strengths and receive love and acknowledgement from others graciously. I make the commitment to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively acknowledge my own strengths and receive love and acknowledgement from others graciously. Okay, so once again going back to the visual centers. Still something in first stage stress there. Okay, so once again, so more left-right brain interaction, yeah. Okay, so sissy, trust, AC, responsibility, play, A, B, C, D. Right, so the fourth hippocampal circuit is due to a lack of motivation due to internal negativity. So just even thinking about that affirmation, it's about being able to go, hey, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. So when your negative thought processes are in there just whizzing around in your brain, part of it is about, I'm not okay, because otherwise it wouldn't bother, would it? So we need to pop in the hippocampus. So it's actually the spirit point on the top of our head that we need there. So that's the motivation point. So sometimes it can be an idea, you know, when you're not feeling motivated, just give it a bit of a tap. Wakey, wakey, wakey to our little spirit point. And then the area where the negativity is in the base of the skull, which is, of course, around that same spot as your fight, flight, freeze, you know, your survival patterns, you know, that's all in that unconscious part of the brain in there. So when we get those headaches that radiate up, down your neck and in the base of the skull, that can just be that survival pattern just in there, you know, just dragging the energy into that old fear, fight, flight, freeze in the brain, and just not allowing new conscious pathways to emanate. I don't know whether we've talked about the Moro reflex. That could actually be really good for you. I will not be able to do that today, but I'll try to put another Moro exercise on YouTube and forward it to you in the next day or two. I've got a really busy couple of days coming up. I might be able to do it tonight, but we'll see how we go. It's a very busy day, so I just probably won't feel like it. But basically, there is on my YouTube channel, I'll see if I can find it and shoot it to you if I have a chance. But basically, the Moro exercise, what it does, it strengthens the core, and every time you do it, you are activating connections from your survival pattern into your frontal cortex. So, yeah, if I do, and then it only takes a minute or two morning and night. So it's nice and easy. It doesn't take a lot of time. And what it does is helps to create new pathways in the brain every time you do it, which is just amazing. So yeah, so in relation to the lack of motivation due to internal negativity, when you're feeling negative, your brain just wants to run away. When your brain wants to run away, we're in that fight that can, and you sort of think about your kidney pain that you've had for years, you know, sort of, it's the kidney muscles that strengthen the pelvis that loosen when our brain wants to run away. Beautiful. Okay. That's about what we've got time for. So just let me go back and check a couple of things. So once again, adrenal, survival, deep survival, hidden deep survival, great. Celestial circuit, good. Let's check the visualization affirmations. But yeah, so with your lungs, I suspect that your mucociliary pumps are exhausted. So basically there's little cilia on the inside of your lungs, and when they are covered in mucus, they just go all flat. So, and it's sort of like they're glued down. So then when your coughing happens, you're not loosening your mucus and getting it up, because your cilia isn't bringing the mucus up when you're coughing. So it's like that dry, irritating cough. Some of my favourite herbs for that are things like elecampane and grindelia and mullein and wild cherry, and so there's lots of herbs that are really good for helping with lung energy. I am able to visualize while doing meditations. Beautiful. I use my parent gene to enhance my meditations and visualizations. Beautiful. I am able to visualize my perfect health. Beautiful. So they're nice and clear at the moment, which is wonderful. So this is a new program for this body now and in the future. The old program for this body is no longer necessary now in the future. Hallelujah and amen. Okay, so I want you just to take a couple of minutes, sit down, cover yourself in a nice pink light. So love, healing, heart energy, nice pink light. And just visualize for just a minute or so how you want your world to be. How do you want your world to be? I want you to see it. I want you to feel it. How does it make you feel? Okay, I'll upload this. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.